I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Board Game Breakfast. Now this is an exciting week because we're going to a new convention this week. That's PAX Unplugged. PAX Unplugged is in Philadelphia. It's going to be this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be in town on Thursday though, and each night you'll find us in the gaming areas playing games. You want to come find us, there's a chance you can play a game with us. And if nothing else, please come say hi to us there. On Saturday, we are going to be running an event on our top 10 one of our top 10 lists, so you have to come by and see that, but come on out. We need an audience. Me, Sam Z, and joined by Eric will be there. And then, of course, we'll be at a booth, Geek and Son. Look for Geek and Son's booth. Come by there. We have one of the little pins in the penny arcade thing, but we also have some of our promos that will be there also, so we encourage you to come by, and if nothing else, just say hi. And we'll post a schedule. Sometime today, you'll see a schedule on our website, or a link to a schedule from our website, which will show who will be at the booth at different times and different days. So if you want to come by and talk to us, that's a great time to do so. So that's going to keep us busy this week, but there is much, much more coming from the Dice Tower, for sure. Let's keep going. Not a ton of news this week, actually. We know that Altiplano, which I thought Altiplano would be picked up by Tasty Minstrel Games, but actually it's coming from Renegade Games. Now this means it's not going to be deluxeified like Orleans was, but it does mean it will be a very good game because Renegade does good stuff. And I will have a review of Altiplano out this week. The Toy Hall of Fame has announced their winners for 2017, and once again, total baloney. Well, not total baloney, but the winners are Clue, the board game, Wiffle Ball, and the Paper Airplane. I'm not like ragging on Clue here. Clue's fine. Clue should be in the Toy Hall of Fame. Other board games that were nominated were Risk and Uno. Matchbox Cars were nominated. My Little Pony. And the Wiffle Ball is great. I certainly played with those as kids. But Paper Airplane? Are they kidding? I mean, I get it. Just if you're going to put stupid things like Paper Airplane and Stick and all that nonsense in this Toy Hall of Fame. Sure, I get that they're toys. Sand was nominated this time. Sand. But if you're going to nominate them, put them in when you started this Toy Hall of Fame. They shouldn't be coming in 2017. Like suddenly this year we're like, you know what? Paper Airplane should be in the Toy Hall of Fame. Nonsense. But anyway, congratulations to Clue at least. Endless Pass Viking Saga is coming from WizKids. This is a game in which you're clearing out the path of these endless things so that the Vikings can get through. That's all I know. It looks a little abstract actually from the cover and the description, but I hope it's a good game. Catan Stories is coming from the Catan Studios. This is a text adventure game. I'm not sure if it's for computers or for iPad or maybe both. I'm not sure. Legend of the Sea Robbers, and so you're picking a character and going through. This looks like a game that I used to play on my watch called Lifeline, where you would get a real-time message and like a guy would be communicating, you would tell him what decision to make, and then you hopefully kept the guy alive. I really did enjoy that. This one looks kind of like that. Hopefully it is. Either way, it's an interesting thing. And then Jurassic Park, the Chaos game. This is coming from Mondo. I think they're mostly known for video games. This is now, like this week, I'm talking about Dinosaur Island, which is obviously a Jurassic Park game. This one here, you're playing as a pack of raptors, or you're playing as the corporation, or some people visiting the park. I hope it's good. I'm always wary of games that do not come from the board game sector. But that doesn't mean it's bad either. You know, look at Mechs vs. Minions, for example. So we'll see, but that's coming out later on. That's all the news I have. Time for Kickstarter stuff.
Happy breakfast, everybody. We've got a lot of projects that I'm really excited about this week, so let's get going. Mistfall Chronicles of Frost is set in NSKN's Mistfall world, but is a standalone deck-building adventure game. Your Fate deck helps you explore to uncover new locations, complete quests, and battle foes. You'll be able to gain allies and items to assist you, and managing your deck and unlocking card abilities is absolutely key. Fate cards have a secondary ability that can be unlocked with a skill token or by taking wounds or even leveraging enemies that you've defeated. But you have to be careful because taking too many wounds reduces your hand size, but it may be worth the bump in order to get a really great card into your deck. Cards are worth points in your deck, or perhaps even more points if they're in your Chronicle, which you can do by retiring the card. And this creates great tension between keeping the cards in your deck for their ability versus tucking them away for points. Chronicles of Frost has a variety of quests, and the board is modular, providing a nice amount of game variability. There's also an option to get some snazzy Heroes of Mistfall minis to add a thematic punch. But you can get a basic copy of Chronicles of Frost for a pledge of $34 plus shipping. The Hero Tech campaign continues Button Shy Games' quest to elevate the microgame, or wallet game. There are 3 games available in this campaign that ends November 18th. Hero Tech is about a company that creates items for superheroes, and players are trying to create the perfect collection for a superhero using the multi-use cards. Kintsugi is based on the Japanese pottery technique, which repairs broken pottery using gold. This is a tile-laying game requiring clever placement following the overlapping rules. And In Vino Morte is a social deduction game in which players must decide to quaff or trade their drink with others. It's a simple game that really maximizes on a group's existing dynamics. The Hero Tech campaign has a number of pledge levels that allow you to mix and match what you receive, but a single game of your choice takes a pledge of just $10 plus shipping. Sorcerer is a new offering from the masterminds behind Star Realms and Epic. Sorcerer is a game of action management and area control set in an alternate Gothic world, and thematically, this is definitely the darkest of all of White Wizard's games. In Sorcerer, players build up character decks to battle for control over Old England, which is represented by 3 location cards. Players use their own character and minions to battle it out using dice-based battle techniques in each specific location, leveraging actions to gain funds, play minions, move, or provide special abilities. But the heart of the game is really in those character decks. Each game, a player will pick a character deck, lineage, and domain deck to mix up to form a custom character. The base characters each have their own backstories and areas of focus, but then lineage decks provide an area of specialty like necromancy, demonology, and vampirism. On top of that, the domain decks give abilities and benefits to further customize your character, whether it's doing things like mass damage or gaining more ability to heal minions and so on. The customization options to explore here are immense, even in just the base box, which plays up to 4 players for a pledge of $45 plus shipping. But as with other White Wizard campaigns, there are a ton of extra cards available at the $75 Sorcerer pledge level, which hugely increases the customization options with an additional 6 expansion packs included. Asmati Games and Handelabra are partnering up to bring One Deck Dungeon to Steam. Handelabra is the app studio behind the phenomenal Sentinels of the Multiverse app, and One Deck Dungeon is a great cooperative dungeon crawl game that leverages multi-use cards. A player takes on a character and deals with random encounter cards, and dice allocation determine your victory, and once an encounter is conquered, that card gets turned into an item, skill, or experience points that you get to apply to your character, and that decision is critical as you move towards the boss battle at the end of the deck. The One Deck Dungeon Steam app will include all 5 base heroes and dungeons, and it features a solo and a 2-player cooperative mode. The app will also include the campaign mode that allows you to build up a character over multiple games. The base pledge for One Deck Dungeon Digital is just $10, but to grab extra goodies and bonuses, there are also higher pledge levels available. And last but not least, Mars Open Tabletop Golf is a super fun flicking dexterity game coming from Bellwether Games. Players use this cardboard golf ball that has a simple but clever shape, and you'll be navigating courses to win. So it's essentially a mini golf dexterity game. The ball shape allows for trick shots, and this is a flicking game that will not hurt your fingertips. The game includes a number of cardboard pieces or obstacles that you'll use to create custom holes, but there are at least 27 hole designs included. Mars Open is one of those crowd-pleasing games that can be played with gamers of all ages, and you can get a copy of Mars Open Tabletop Golf for a pledge of just $24 plus shipping. Alrighty, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here, and you know what? With the hundreds upon hundreds of brand new board games that were just released at the Essen Game Fair, I thought it might be nice to instead go in a different direction, pause, and look back at an old, obsolete game that no longer gets played. Board games throughout history. Today's historical game comes from a suggestion from viewer Peter A., who introduced me to the ancient Roman game Nine Men's Morris, which is also known as Mills, the Mill game, Merrills, Marils, Morelis, and Cowboy Checkers. For the purpose of this video, though, I'm going to just refer to this game as Nine Men's Morris, but I'll be spelling it like this. Now, the Nine Men's Morris board consists of a grid with 24 intersections, and one player typically has 9 black pieces and the other player 9 white ones. Players try to form mills, which are rows of 3 of their pieces arranged either horizontally or vertically, and doing so allows them to remove one of their opponent's pieces from the game. Player then wins by reducing the opponent to either 2 pieces or leaving them without a legal move. The game Nine Men's Morris has found its way into several historical locations, including illustrations, a reference in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, and a mention in Book 3 of the Ars Amatoria by the Roman poet Ovid, who wrote, quote, "There is another game divided into as many pots as there are months in the year. A table has 3 pieces on either side. The winner must get all the pieces in a straight line." The earliest known board for the game was actually cut into the roofing slabs of the temple at Kurna in Egypt around 1400 BC. But that's not all, there's many others too. There's boards carved into Roman buildings, carved into the base of a pillar in Chester Cathedral, and carved into the cloister seats of the English cathedrals in Canterbury, Gloucester, Norwich, Salisbury, and Westminster Abbey. Yep. Seems that no matter where you went in the ancient European world, you were only a stone's throw away from a defaced public structure ready to play a game of Nine Men's Morris on. And this game wasn't just etched into the architecture, but also into the mythos of the time. According to the new game Treasury by Marilyn Simmons Moore, in some European countries, the design of the board was given special significance as a symbol of protection against evil, and emanating out from it, the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 elements, and the 4 winds. Wow, so there you go, warding off evil, generating the 4 winds, and unlocking the mysteries of love. Turns out the game Nine Men's Morris was about more than just vandalizing government property, after all. And that's why, if you get the chance, carve out some time to give Nine Men's Morris a try.
Hey, this is Mike with the Board Game Makeover. I'm back after working at Bob's Corner for 6 weeks, and I'm ready to get back to giving board games a makeover. In this episode, I take a very popular game called Pandemic, and what do I do to it? I make it really big. Why did I make it big? You can make any board game big. The reason I did is because I was thinking about the old War Games movie with Matthew Broderick. How they had the entire world up on the wall. It was a command center. I wanted the feeling of a command center trying to eradicate disease with other players. Let me show you how I took Pandemic and made it big. The first thing I did was I took the Pandemic board and took a picture of the 4 different quadrants of the board. And I sent them to Costco and had them printed poster size. I glued the washers onto the back of each section of the board. I turned each piece over and glued it to the back of a piece of this insulation foam that I got from Lowe's for about $8. I cut off the unnecessary pieces of the foam, and then I added a little bit of tape around the edge just to keep everything in place. I found these little pawns with magnets in them on Amazon. I got about 60 of them for like $10. I took the disease tokens and I just used one of these old magnets. I could have used other magnets, but I wanted to try something different so they would stand out. On the houses, I used flat magnets just to kind of see how that would work too. And each pawn also has a magnet under it. I used the original cards because I didn't want to have to reproduce bigger cards for this game. Because to me, the theme is the big map up on the wall or on a table, not just everything else being big. Overall, it turned out extremely well, and I'm very pleased with this game. And I'm pretty sure my gaming group would love to play this now. So with a little glue, a few of these little thingers, and a little ingenuity with magnets, paper, and craziness, you can take any board game and make it big and make it more real. Thanks for watching the Board Game Makeover. I will see you next time.
So in this week I'm announcing that What Should I Get is officially dead. Like I said in the intro, this segment's now officially dead. So then that brings up the question as to why. Last time I made a video, which was actually 3 weeks ago at this point, I mentioned how the Reddit community was doing such a good job at answering the questions on the board game personalized game recommendation. I still haven't really got 100% comfortable with saying that. But yeah, they're doing such a good job to the point where I barely even answer the questions anymore like I said previously. Now I'm gonna say right off the bat, it's not like I'm sad about this or anything like that. This is actually great. This is actually, I guess you could almost say, an end goal to what I would want this segment to accomplish. So, I mean, thanks to you guys for actually doing that. You guys have done a great job answering these questions. And by the way, this also doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be answering questions anymore. If you have any other What Should I Get questions, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, in person, everything. People have been asking me a bunch of questions, I've been answering them. I'm more than happy to continue doing that. But I also would like to mention one more thing. It's been a lot of conversations recently about how you shouldn't really put people into a box when you're recommending games. Try to get as much information as you can as possible about the person you're recommending games for, and never really rule out the super heavy or the super thematic games. Give them suggestions for almost every scenario. Give them a perfect gateway game, give them a heavy game that might match the situation, give them a thematic game that might match the situation. Try to leave as many options for the person asking the question as possible, I guess is the best way I'm trying to put it. So now this segment is now officially dead, what is next? Let's go ahead and check that out. And this is what to check out. So along with the new segment, of course, gotta go with the new look. So this is what to check out, where I go on the internet looking for videos, articles, anything I can find that seems remotely interesting at all. And I'll go ahead and suggest for you to check it out. So if you have any videos you'd like to share, be sure to mention me on a comment or message me on Twitter at officiallttt. I'll put that down below or somewhere, and you can go ahead and message me there and I'll go ahead and check out the video. And in other news, I'm going to be at PAX Unplugged this week. I should be hanging out with the Dice Tower guys a bit, so I might be at their booth, so if you see me there, feel free to say hi. I also should be running around the convention as well, so if you see me at any place, say hi. If you want to play any games, I'm most likely down to play games as long as I don't have to run off and do something. And besides that, that's pretty much it. So, until next time guys, I hope you're enjoying your breakfast.
Okay, lots of cool stuff coming from the Dice Tower this week. I'm going to be reviewing a pile of games throughout the week, and some Altiplano. I already mentioned that, so I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that. I'm actually going to do a comparison video between that and Orleans also. Dinosaur Island we'll be taking a look at this week. And what are some of the other games? There's some cool stuff that's coming, so keep an eye out. Some of the bigger games from Essen, we're playing those as quickly as we can and reviewing them, but there's still a lot that we have to play, a lot going on. We might do a live play or two on Monday, Tuesday. Remember, Wednesday we're leaving and heading off to PAX Unplugged, so we won't have a lot of live stuff at PAX Unplugged, but we're going to record stuff there and hopefully be posting some of that next week. So like I said, we're doing some shows there. Certainly come by and see those. At the end of this week, though, the big thing is we're doing our Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas recommendation lists. So these are lists that you can use yourself to shop for other people for games, things that we would recommend that you can get that are hopefully available right now. And also, maybe you can send this to someone else and say, I'm just saying, here's a video for you to look at. That sort of thing. So that's all coming out this week from the Dice Tower. Huzzah!
Two brothers set loose in a thrift store. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks.
Woo! Man, it's a good day here in the town of Swan, Connecticut. We got your special deals. Toboggan with us, ski, snowboard, snow bike. We provide the hill. You provide everything else. Yeah, and what a steal at $100 per ride. Yeah, right? Your road tape's showing. Zip it up, zip it up. It's supposed to be cold. Oh man, it's Winter Wonderland ready, and all we need are a bunch of customers to come and give us most of your yearly savings. Oh my gosh! Oh, a fresh flurry! Oh, check out this gratuitous snow shot. green screen? No, the green screen works, man. They're totally behind it. Winter exists! What a winter wonderland! Okay, fine. They're not buying it. They're not buying it. You know what? You got us. It's us. It's the Brothers Murph. All we want is for you to give us your hard-earned cash. We're trying to get to Dice Tower Con. Thought this fake ski slope idea would give us a lot of money, but we feel bad. We shouldn't be conning you guys. You guys are the best. We can't con the people we're going to the con with at the con. We're sorry. Let's just get on with the review. So this is Happy Feet 2 Slippery Slope game, which features an oppressively 3D board. And basically, it's just chutes and ladders 100%. So you just roll this guy, and your little penguin who has like a ball bearing moves to wherever. And if you land on any of these areas, your little penguin just slides to wherever it takes you. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes you get to the top and you fall over dead. You just win if you happen to be the person to roll the whatever thing that makes you get there. So that's Chutes and Ladders Movie Edition. So that was Slippery Slopes, Happy Feet 2, the game. It's snakes and ladders, chutes and ladders. That's literally it, which is fine. Like, it's kids like snakes and ladders. Kids will like this more because the board is crazy. Here's my problem, is you, like, have a super cool board. Yeah. But I think we can safely say, unless you are a child or a humongous Penguin fan, yeah, probably skip it. Review over. Check us on social media right here. Listen to us podcast right there. Live streaming Twitch right there. Until next time, we'll see you on them slippery slopes. We'll see you there. Penguin.
Hello everyone, my name is Annette, and you may know me as Netters Plays, and today on Applied Mechanics, I actually went to HaitiCon, which is a small convention in San Francisco. So HaitiCon raises money and awareness for patients with tuberculosis and AIDS, and it raises the money specifically for their medication and for the location of where they can get their treatments. So if you want to find out more about this location, just follow the link down below. Now, while I was in HaitiCon, I managed to find a few designers and other gamers and ask them what their favorite game mechanism is. So let's get to it. So what is your favorite game mechanism?
Card drafting.
I love resource management. I love economic games.
I like auction. Auction and worker placement work together.
Oh, I think definitely worker placement.
Train resting, like in 18XX and Locomotive Works.
One of my favorites is deduction, like in Tragedy Looper.
I like all games for the mechanisms they have, so whatever works in a game, works in a game, but that said, I do really enjoy games with an engine building mechanic.
I would have to say tile laying. Pretty much every game I've ever designed has tiles in it, so Whistle Stop, Whispa, I'm working on like 3 other tile laying games. I just really love the kind of exploration, building the board as you go. A lot of times has path building, route building. I just really enjoy that aspect of it.
I think my favorite game mechanism is deck building, as realized in some of the really classic deck builders like Dominion and Ascension and Thunderstone.
These days I like simultaneous play because it's the antithesis of downtime when everybody's playing all at the same time, like you might get in Magic Maze.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time. Bye!
So obviously, one of the trademarks that I have on my shows is that I wear a hat. Sometimes people are like, why do you wear a hat in the house? I really don't. I don't wear a hat all the time, but whenever I go out of the house, I always wear some sort of hat if possible. Sometimes I forget, but I almost always try to wear a hat. It's like putting on shoes. I put on a hat. Why? I like to wear hats. So I have lots of different hats. This is one of my favorite hats. It might even be my favorite hat, my red hat. And when I wear this, there's comments from people like, oh, I found Carmen Sandiego, or asking me if I work for Red Hat Productions or Agent Carter or whatever it might be. But also, when someone doesn't like what I say on the internet, I'll often see the comment, there he is with that stupid red hat or that dumb hat, or his choice in hats, obviously his other tastes are bad. Now, I don't care. A long time ago, I decided that I just don't care about that. So when I wear my socks, which you can't see really well here, my socks with red peppers on them, or I wear a crazy shirt or a hat, and you don't like it, what do I care? I'm wearing things because I like them. Now, I will sometimes wear things because my wife likes them, but for the most part, I'm going to wear what I want. And you can say the hat is stupid all you want, and it doesn't. It just kind of rolls off me. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, I chose to wear this hat. You know, I don't have to wear it. I could put it away if it really bothered me. But what if I wasn't choosing to wear this hat? What if this hat was permanently affixed to my head? Could you still make fun of me about it? And I see that happening sometimes, a lot of times. When someone doesn't agree with someone else's opinion, and I've been guilty of this in the past, they'll say something about me about that person. I can't believe what that fat person's saying, or that short person, or they have this unibrow, or, you know, look at that greasy looking, you know, whatever. They're saying things about the person's appearance. Well, a lot of times they can't even change these things, and you certainly don't know about them. There's some parts of people's appearances that we would not dare criticize because we would be called racist, right? And people won't do that. But they'll say, well, that person, you know, look at their hair. It's long and stringy or whatever. I don't like it. Oh, they're bald. They should be wearing a hat or whatever that might be. I hate that stupid goatee they have, or neck beard, or whatever it might be. And we don't know why they're doing it. We're criticizing them. But that doesn't actually change what their message is, right? It doesn't matter how they look. First of all, you shouldn't be criticizing people for that anyway. But even if it was legitimate, even if it's something that they chose to do, so I wear this red hat, maybe I decide to wear a sequin dress or some weird thing, and you can say, well, you know, if he likes something like that, then everything else he says is wrong. That's nonsense. And yet I see this come up all the time. And someone will say, well, that's their taste in that, or, well, look at that person, they don't bother to comb their hair, or whatever. And I feel like that is a disservice to that person. I am basically taking a visual cue from that person. Now, I think that obviously dressing for success matters to some degree. When I go to a funeral, obviously I'm not coming in with a bright red hat and stuff. You know, there's a time and place that certain things can be done, and there's decorum in our society when you go to different places. But at the same time, I'm over it, right? You make fun of my red hat, that's fine. At least you know it's me when you see it. But at the same time, does it detract from my message? It shouldn't. And if when you say so that it does, that means you don't really have anything to say against the message itself. Now, I don't say this really to defend myself, because this happens to lots of people. I mentioned before, people are criticized because they're women. That makes no sense. Their gender does not change their message. People are criticized because of things they wear, or because of different lifestyles that they espouse, or different things, and people will criticize that as if that changes what they're saying. First of all, what we're saying here is just silly opinions about board games. When it comes down to it, as E. Garcia says this all the time, these are toys that we're talking about. But we do like to argue. We like to discuss and debate. That's fun. But what I say is not, you know, if I say, for example, this game is bad, does this change that? No, it doesn't. And we grasp at straws criticizing other people sometimes about it. I'm guilty of this myself a lot of times. Not so much necessarily in what I say publicly, but I'll see someone and I might not like that person for whatever reason. I'm like, oh man, I don't like that nose ring they have, or whatever it might be. And they can't be right. Or, you know, don't they realize that this is... Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. And it's something I have to work on and say, do not judge people by how they look. And do not judge people by things outside of gaming that affect gaming. I might meet someone, that person might drive me crazy, but that doesn't invalidate their views about everything. And board gaming, like I said, again, is not a big topic. I don't know. I just think it's funny. This came to my mind because there was some comments where people were criticizing Dice Tower, which is fine, happens a lot, right? And someone was talking about the dumb red hat, and I was like, man, people don't like that red hat. But you know what? I do. I'm going to keep wearing it. And I'm not saying this to get the swell of support in the comments. Oh, Tom, I love your red hat. That's fine. I don't care if you hate it or not. And I don't even think that saying, I don't like that red hat is bad, right? Because again, I chose to wear it. When you criticize people on things they cannot change, I think that is bad. When you criticize people about something that they're deciding to do but has nothing to do with the argument, that is a straw man and misdirection, and that's bad logic and bad arguing. Well, that's the internet, I suppose. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let's go on to other stuff.
Hello and welcome to the best and the worst. My name is Niels and welcome to the Board Game Breakfast. let's take a closer look to Vikings Gone Wild and my favorite part on that. My favorite part in Vikings Gone Wild, in this beautiful, really beautiful, thematically nicely done deck builder, is that you have plenty of options. You can spend your resources for so much stuff. It's awesome. That's really good. So you are really rarely running into a situation where you have 3 beer and you don't need to know what to do with 3 beer. However, the thing I don't like too much on it is that it has the same issue that most deck builders. The more cards you have on your hand, the better it is. So if you get this draw 2 additional cards and draw 2 additional cards and draw 2 additional cards in your deck and draw 3 cards and take an attack and 2 additional cards. If you have all of these additional cards in your deck and you get 15 cards on your hand instead of 5, you will most likely win Vikings Gone Wild. This was my favorite of Vikings Gone Wild from Corax Games here in Germany. See you next week. And thanks, Tom, for having me on your show.
Hi everyone. After a 9-week battle, the monster that was hiding in the London sewer system has finally been beaten. The Victorian-era tunnel in the Whitechapel district has been cleared of a 250-meter-long fatberg, weighing over 130 tons and consisting of a solid mass of congealed fat, oil, baby wipes and condoms. It has all been taken out, and according to the Waste Network manager, the beast has finally been slain. This week I am playing a game that takes place in that same Whitechapel district, where a beast of another kind is hiding in plain sight. This week I am playing Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack is a 2-player game where only one player, the evil player, knows which of the 8 characters is Mr. Jack the Ripper himself, but in disguise. At the end of each round, that player must announce if that character is either in the light or next to another character or is in the shadows. The inspector player must find out before the game is over, through deduction and good planning and positioning on the board, which of the characters is Jack the Ripper. He must apprehend him before it's too late and Jack the Ripper escapes the board. Mr. Jack is great for a fast and tense game. I love deduction games, and combined with a game board, Mr. Jack is one of my favorite 2-player games. Thanks for watching. My name is Dave Luza. Oh, before I forget, tomorrow is the last day you can bid on the Jack Vasel Memorial Auction. My item is 187, and you can bid on a song that I will make for you. So if that is something that might interest you, then maybe you can bid on item 187 of the Jack Vasel Memorial Auction.
Hey gang, and welcome to Tantrum House HQ. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sarah Meadows, and today on the Throwdown, we've got Mars Open in the red corner.
And Flip Ships in the blue corner. Flip Ships from Renegade Game Studios is a 1-to-4 player dexterity game that has all the feels of Galaga, but in 3D space. In the game, players are trying to launch spaceship discs at the oncoming horde of enemies. They must work together to stop the ships from entering their atmosphere and launching their own attacks. Players must take down the mothership in order to win. As players take damage, they are able to add reinforcements to their fleet, giving them additional tiles and special abilities. If players are able to destroy the mothership, then like in all good sci-fi films, the rest of the hive immediately dissipates and the world is saved yet again.
Mars Open, which is live on Kickstarter now, is from Bellwether Games and is also a 1-to-4 player dexterity game. In Mars Open, players set different courses up in each round, building their own space golf course. They then take turns flicking, chipping, and power shooting their golf balls toward the hole. At the end of the pre-selected number of rounds, the player with the lowest score wins the Mars Open.
All right, so we're looking at 2 different space-themed dexterity games. Are you ready for the Throwdown?
I am.
Oh, let's do it. All right. 3, 2, 1, Throwdown. Oh, yeah? I knew you would, but explain why.
We played both games with our kids, and Flip Ships was a little difficult, although
it was hard. We lost.
It was hard. We lost badly. Mars Open is much more flexible. It's not as frantic trying to get your ships to hit exactly in the right spot.
Yeah, I felt like this is a lot more approachable of a game. I love love the visual theme for this. The fact that you can flip the box makes it amazing. I think it looks really cool, and I think if you had the right group and if you played it enough, it could be a really fun one, but it is actually really difficult. This one's a lot more casual. You're flipping it, it's fun, the pieces fly everywhere, really cool stuff. We enjoyed both of them, but I like this one. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, Mike Delisio from Solomode Games. Recently a friend asked me if I logged plays on the iPad or on the iPhone, some type of a electronic version of board gaming, do I log those plays in Board Game Geek? And I answered that no, I didn't. But that I didn't really have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. I can understand why some people might log their electronic game plays in Board Game Geek or whatever method they use to log their plays, but it just wasn't something I did. I thought about it, and I thought maybe if I played more games on like a tabletop simulator or Tabletopia or something like that, I might be more likely to log those plays. I don't know why, they're still kind of electronic versions, but I might be more likely to, but I don't really play on those formats, so it doesn't apply to me. I took a look on Board Game Geek, and my first logged play was in February of 2013, and for a couple of years there, those first 2 years I was a little more sporadic in logging my plays, but here in the last few years I've been pretty good about it, and just recently I actually got an app called BG Stats. I think it's just Board Game Stats, and in addition to keeping track of what games you've played, it also compiles some nice statistical data that you can look at, where you've played, who's won and lost, the people you've played with, things along those lines, and so that's been kind of nice. But it got me wondering how many of you log your plays, and for those of you that do log your plays, do you count electronic games as actual game plays? So I'd be interested to find out what you think. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Hello! My name's Dan, this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about kids' games for children around 5 and under. But sometimes we're straying a little bit above that these days, because you're very clever, aren't you? And you're getting older, so we're straying into the older market. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about this game. What is it, Cora?
Hippo.
Hippo.
Oh, yeah.
You've only got 3 to get rid of. Hippos is a dice-rolling maths game where players are throwing life rings into a swimming pool. On their turn, a player rolls 3 dice and uses the results of them, adding them up in any combination, to throw a ring into a particular section of the pool. Each section can only take a limited number of rings, and if your roll would take that section over that number, then another ring gets pushed back out, preferably one of your opponents. The first person to have all 12 of their rings in the water is the winner. So Cora, what do you think about Hippo?
I like it.
Why do you like it?
Because I win all the time.
Because you win all the time? You do. It's a maths game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a maths game, and you like your maths.
Yeah.
And there's lots of adding and making, trying to work.
I keep finding out ways to get the better numbers.
You do.
And I tried adding up the numbers in all sorts of ways, in every way. Then I just saw which was, and then I put them up to a thing which I was actually going to do when I planned it out, and then done it before I just made a mistake by doing it straight away.
Yeah, you thought about what you were doing before you did it.
Yeah.
And that's a really good skill. I like it too. I also like the graphic design of this game, and a lot of the games by this publisher, Helvetique, I think they're very elegant, very stylish. I think it's really nice, and it'd be a great gift for somebody as well. So, we give this game 2 hippos in the swimming pool. Thumbs up! Splash, 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 splash!
Okay, don't forget, folks, PAX Unplugged. We'll see you guys in Philadelphia this week. If you're coming by, please come by. If you see me walking through the hall, don't hesitate to stop and say hi. I mean, if I'm carrying a huge stack of stuff, which I don't think I will be doing, or if I'm in the middle of someone else, don't worry about it. People always like, I saw you, but I didn't want to bother you. It's okay bothering me. Please come say hi. I'll be there. Sam will be there. Z will be there. Eric will be there. Jason will be there. Mark Street will be there, and several other people from the Dice Tower will be there. We like when you say hi to us. We appreciate it. Secondly, some of the promos, not all of them, but a few of the promos from our Indiegogo campaign at the beginning of this year are now up on Cool Stuff. If you buy those promos from Cool Stuff, all that money that you pay goes to the Dice Tower. So it's not really, you're not buying this stuff. It's really a donation to the Dice Tower, and you know, you get a gift in return. However, if you're buying a couple games from Cool Stuff, you can throw this on top. Maybe it pushes you over free shipping or whatever. Just something to think about. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. No worries at all. I just want to let you guys know that they were available. That's it. I'm excited. Philly, here we come. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower.